Today is June 12, Independence Day. Proudly independent Philippines. Made solid by Filipino seafarers, sailing over blue waters to secure the logistics chain of the world. Welcome to Marino World Weekend. I am Dean Pakani. Our top stories. Marina updates EMSA on corrective actions. NSA strengthens partnership with DMMACSP. Marcos Jr. to incentivize shipbuilders. Greek ship owners renew commitment to green shipping. The Maritime Industry Authority, or Marina, has updated the European Maritime Safety Agency, or EMSA, on the country's status of the corrective actions to address the EMSA findings. Here's my interview with Marina Administrator Vice Admiral Robert Empedrad.
Going back to the date where we submitted our EMSA report, that's March 10, we submitted our report to the European Commission. And they should have decided already in April of this year, but they did not make any decision. So I believe they will make a decision on the later part of the year. It's either October or November. But I don't want to wait on October without submitting an update of our actions based on the strategic response. So the action plan that we did, we already acted some of them. And last May 31, we submitted an update on our action to EMSA. So that's the update on EMSA. And we did a lot of hard work in coming up with the updates and actions on the plan that we submitted to EMSA. I'm sure the EC will be happy for the updates that we submitted.
So, in particular, sir, ano yung mga details? Ano yung
one example
update?
Is we should inspect the 11 schools that were inspected by EMSA before on their compliance. We already have done that. And then we already published the 3 joint circular of Marina and SHIP, which is in response to the findings of EMSA. Example, submission also is the standard course package. We are supposed to come up with standard course package of the first year, second year, third year, and fourth year level based on the JCMMC, which is a new curriculum. We completed the first year level already, and soon we will be able to complete the second year course package. We already oriented the schools because this year we will implement the first year, the new curriculum, starting with the first year to all MHAIs. I think that's in August when the school opens. So we have done that already, and so we are going to implement the first year level of the new curriculum.
In his letter to Ms. Magna Kopczynska, Director for Waterborne Transport of the European Union, or EU, Empedrad presented a tabular summary of the status of the country's corrective actions as of May 2022. Aside from the corrective actions, the administrator also highlighted Marina's other initiatives which will help facilitate the employment of the Filipino seafarers, especially at this time when we are trying to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. Among these are the Competency Review Portal, extension of certificate validity, reduction of fees for SDCW certificates or COC and COP, and reduction of fees for Seafarers Record Book or SRB. Meantime, Empedrad says the 6-year strategic voyage plan is ready for the next administration to implement in order to ensure the continuity of the plans and programs. On the other hand, Empedrad says he is humbled by the public expression of the stakeholders on their support for his reappointment by the incoming administration, and that if given a chance to continue to serve, he will be more ambitious and aggressive for the people to realize that the maritime industry is our nation's only hope to progress. One of the concerns, sir, is that continuity, of those. So
Yeah.
how do we ensure
Yeah,
that
that's a good question. First of all, I'm not sure if I will be retained by the president. But if ever I will not be retained by the president, as I always say, what is the assurance of the continuity, sustainability of what we are doing right now? It's the voyage plan, or what we call a roadmap. It's a 6-year strategic plan, voyage plan. It's also aligned with the Maritime Industry Development Plan 2028. So we have a 6-year plan that was put in place by Marina in collaboration with the stakeholders. And so if someone replaced me, it's very tough to come up with a strategic plan na bago, that is new. So all he has to do is to implement the content of the voyage plan. Each personnel of Marina has a work to do to accomplish that plan. So it's very tough to change all this because it requires a thorough and a tedious study. So I think this will sustain the plans that I put in place.
there are strong lobbying for your reappointments in Marina or in even in higher position. What can you say about that, sir?
Well, I am humbled by the response of the industry. It only shows that I think I've done my best, and the stakeholders are satisfied. But it's still the choice of the president. But as I said, if I am given a chance to serve for another 6 years, I will be more ambitious. I will be ambitious and be aggressive so that the Filipino people can feel that the maritime industry is our only hope in the progress of our maritime nation. Uh, for 2 years that I've been in Marina, I realized the potentials of developing a maritime industry for the progress of maritime nation Philippines. Singapore alone, Hong Kong, some of the country with stable economy, they have a stable economy because they have a progressive maritime industry. So sana, si Sir President-elect Bongbong Marcos will focus on the development of maritime industry for the progress.
Are there a lot of still unfinished business in?
You're right. You're right. But I hope if I will be in place, someone should have a grasp or extensive knowledge or understanding of what maritime industry is all about. For 2 years, even when I was FOIC, I already understand the maritime aspect of our progress. And after 2 years and 3 months, or 2 months in the maritime industry, I realized that came up with good programs, even legislation as discussed during the visit of Congressman Gonzales, Marino Party List in Marina 2 weeks ago. And very supportive in coming up with legislation that we want to push. These are all contributory to the development of the maritime industry.
Anything more you'd like to emphasize, sir?
Well, one thing that I realized during my 2 years is that the collaboration between Marina and the maritime industry stakeholders is very strong. It's very strong. And this is the only way. Kung hindi mag-unify at magtatrabaho together or mag-work together, the maritime industry and the stakeholders, we cannot move forward. we'll go together, and with our only goal to provide a bright future for the next generation and the progress of our country. Let's work together. Let's help each other, and let's move forward.
The Norwegian Shipowners Association has strengthened its partnership with the DMMA College of Southern Philippines. Earlier, the DMMACSP warmly welcomed Captain Nat Bensrud, the new Deputy Director of the Norwegian Training Center. NTC runs the NSA's Philippines Cadet Program on the wings of the Association of Shipowners Training and Education Project to develop the young into competent seafarers through the best maritime education on scholarship grants. Since 2006, a total of 772 scholars have benefited from the NSA-DMMA-CSP partnership. Bensrod and NTC Managing Director Jo Even Tomren also inspected the campus state-of-the-art facilities and met the local media. Meanwhile, Bensrod has recently graced the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the additional dormitory facility to house the incoming NSA scholars. Mrs. Gloria S. Uriarte, the college president and the board of trustees of the MMACSP, also graced the event. Under the NSA scholarship program, the cadets enjoy free tuition and miscellaneous fees, books and instructional materials, training, uniforms, and board and lodging. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. sees a need to incentivize the shipbuilders and other private operators to help develop the shipping industry and the trade in general. In an earlier dialogue with the Philippine Inter-Island Shipping Association or PISA, Marcos said tax incentives may be given to the shipping sector. However, this will be very challenging and still need consultations.
There has been a tendency over the past few years to depend on importation, and I'm not talking only about the industrial sector. We are also talking about the consumer sector, and this I do not believe that this is a good trend, because the value added for all of this remains in other countries, and all we get is the final product, and we do not get the advantage of the processing of these products. The same thing is happening to shipbuilding, where we are encouraging them to. There seems to be a disconnect in again what our policy is and what we are trying to do. Your mention of employment is a critical one, because as we all know, if you ask a Filipino today what what they think of COVID, they will talk about no jobs, no money, no jobs, basically. And so we have to find the employment aspect of shipbuilding is going to be a large one, because that will, as we saw with Hanjin before, they are very, very large employer of highly skilled labor. It is something that we have to come back to. That is a policy problem. And that is why we have to streamline, we have to codify all the different rules and regulations. We have to codify, we have to define the functions of the different organizations and governmental bodies, or semi-governmental bodies, quasi-governmental bodies. We have to codify and rationalize. As we talked about earlier, we have to rationalize the laws. Again, this has come out of, this has evolved over time. This situation has evolved over time. And it has not been one single rule or one single regulation or law that changed the system. It slowly evolved in that direction, I think mistakenly, for whatever reason. So we have to bring it back, and as I said, rationalize the functions of the government and the deliverables of the private sector. And if we can match those together, then we will have a good plan, and that is something that we will be able to implement. We need a better incentive package to provide to the shipbuilders and to all of the private sector operators. Well, you know, right now we have a very big crisis that in terms of fuel, in terms of the fuel that we have been that has suddenly shot up again because of the weaknesses that have been demonstrated in the transport industry by the pandemic. So it is again what government can do. The incentives that government can do comes down perhaps to the tax structure that we can provide. Maybe the application of VAT should be restudied. It is very hard for us to provide something like fuel subsidies because of our WTO commitments. What we can do is maybe provide more tax holidays, or rather tax incentives there by reducing some of the collections that we make that are affecting the shipping industry. So it is that I think that is as much as government can do in terms of hoping to build that global value chain. We to be part of that global value chain. That is something that will have to be studied again in consultation with the operators, because it is not a simple subject, especially when we come down to tax collections. It will be a difficult subject that we will have to broach in the future. It is there are many conflicting arguments, one way or the other. One being that the government is now in a precarious financial position because of all the borrowings we have done in the last year, or the last 2 years, really. Maybe we can lower the interest rates in terms of the borrowings that the people will want to do, so that they can invest. All of these things have to be studied because, as I said, this kind of creeping regulation away from leaving value added in terms of shipbuilding, in terms again of the trade that we are hoping to develop in the shipping industry, that is going to be that is going to change. That is going to take on a new importance, and I think the other countries are already adjusting, and we have to quickly adjust as well to bring us back to a more rational approach to not only shipbuilding, not only shipping, but also trade in general.
have renewed their commitment to the promotion of green shipping. Union of Greek Ship Owners or UGS President Melina Travlos says the Greek shipping has been utilizing its accumulated know-how and experience in promoting realistic proposals and goals, and remains as a frontrunner in research and development of alternative, environmentally friendly marine fuels. Furthermore, she says they support any substantiated effort aimed at making shipping even more environmentally friendly and internationally competitive. Travlos underscores the UGS is committed to be at the forefront of initiatives to adopt viable policies for the benefit of sustainable development, the protection of the planet, and the smooth functioning of the global ecosystem. First established in 1916, the UGS represents Greek-owned vessels over 3,000 gross tonnage under Greek and other European and third country flags. The Greek-owned fleet maintains its leading role in the shipping industry. Today, it represents 21% of the world's tonnage and 59% of the European Union (EU) fleet. Greek shipping, which is an integral part of European shipping, provides a strategic advantage to the European Union in its effort to ensure the adequacy and independence of its supply with essential goods and energy. Thank you for watching Marino World Weekend. Stay on board. Subscribe to Marino World Online for more meaningful maritime news and views. I am Lynn Bacani. Happy Independence Day! God bless Maritime Philippines!